Mhm. This is a wonderful question. So yoga is, as you mentioned, certainly my background. And I appreciate the introduction that you gave on, the fact that the current times are sort of a different level to what we're normally dealing with in terms of navigating our mental health. So thank you for that really appropriate introduction to the session. Um, yes, and in terms of yoga and mental health, yoga has many facets to it. So some of you might be familiar with Patanjali, who wrote the Yoga Sutras and laid out kind of 8 limbs of yoga. However, there were prior systems to yoga that existed thousands of years before Patanjali wrote this 8 limbed system to yoga. And so it's really varied, and you can't even sum it up necessarily in the Yoga Sutras because there are so many kind of prior paths to yoga. So yoga supports mental health in philosophy, but also in the fact that yoga is very accessible and it has many different techniques that can be used to aid in this. So the pinnacle of all of these paths is really reaching meditation. However, there's yoga is unique because it addresses the physical body as well. So there are postural movements that you might hold. There's even preparatory movements and joint rotation and stretching that releases positive chemicals and hormones in the body that very much aid in mental health and making us feel better just on a regular basis. So, um, in the yoga path, we start with the yamas and the niyamas, and in Patanjali's path, there were 10 total yamas and niyamas. However, in prior paths, there were 20 plus. So, you can really look back at the philosophy and see that the path of yoga is very holistic, and many of those things involve uh, your relationship with yourself and then your relationship with society. So this is kind of where the yoga path starts, but just a summary of some of those ancient yamas and niyamas would be aspects of compassion and giving in society and higher levels of giving, and then just how to conduct yourself, really all stemming from this concept of truth and coming back to truth. So there's the physical movements, these precepts, there's breathing techniques, which are very effective actually in lowering levels of stress. Um, there's also chanting and the ancient, swara yoga, which is a type of yoga involving sound. So involving instruments and chanting and mantras, but also I believe the ragas and certain styles of music that are very meditative. um, and then from here you have various levels of meditation. So there's pratyahara, which is a withdrawal of the senses, which is like a form of relaxation. And this is one of the things I wanted to really touch on today, because not only are we going to do a meditation together, but these kind of active and passive forms of meditation are very accessible online via free apps on your phone, via YouTube. And even though it seems really easy, these are some of sort of the quickest and most efficient ways that you can access what is the power of yoga, honestly, throughout your day, wherever you are, at your house, at your office, wherever you might be.